In the early 1990s, a ragtag team led by a programmer named Masato Maegawa left Konami to create one of my favorite developers of all time, Treasure. They burst onto the scene with Gunstar Heroes on the Sega Genesis in '93 and continued to give us amazing games over the years like Sin and Punishment and Gradius 5. In the years before, however, Maegawa was deeply entrenched in NES and Game Boy development at Konami. After taking various roles working on titles like Roller Games and Castlevania The Adventure, he took the lead on a killer NES game based on a little-known cartoon called Bucky O'Hare, which would end up being his final game with Konami calling the shots.
Captain Bucky O'Hare, mutants and aliens and toads beware! You're looking for adventure, well this is it! We're Jenny, Deadeye, Blinky.
I'll be the first to admit that I never watched Bucky O'Hare when it was on TV. It ran for something like 13 episodes in 1991. So needless to say, it arrived with little fanfare and disappeared shortly after, especially when compared to other similarly themed TV shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which showed some serious staying power. During this time period, Konami was on a roll, snapping up just about any animated property they could get their hands on, and then making games based on them. If you're a kid during this time, I'm sure you were familiar with their multiplayer arcade beat-em-ups, like The Simpsons, and the previously mentioned Ninja Turtles. Bucky O'Hare was also lumped in as part of this group, though I never came across the cabinet in person until recently. Now, when there was a huge gulf between the power of an arcade game and the power of an 8-bit console, it wasn't uncommon for a game to be changed completely when it was ported, and thus, Bucky O'Hare became a run and gun with serious platforming, character changing, and special abilities. Not to mention a unique challenge for even the best players. The game opens up with a cutscene of Bucky's spaceship being attacked by their sworn enemy, the Toads. 4 members of his crew are then kidnapped and then taken to separate planets. And of course, it's up to Bucky to rescue them. So right off the bat, you're faced with a Mega Man-style level select where you can choose between green, red, blue, and yellow planets. Obviously, you can kind of guess what kind of challenges await you on each of these planets based on just their color. Each of these levels has a number of acts which present a fairly standard variety of enemies, but really, those are the least of your concerns. You can grab power-ups that will increase your health bar, but most times that will hardly even matter, since each level has an absolutely massive amount of things that will kill you with one hit. Seriously, you're going to die like crazy in this game. Like a comical amount of times. Thankfully, you have unlimited continues, which makes the ride a little easier and keeps you from going insane. But in my opinion, this one is right up there with the hardest of the hard on the NES. I was continually decimated before I realized what was even happening. Of course, repetition is key, but damn, this game really made me feel like I was awful at video games. Finishing each planet gives you access to another character with their own unique weapon and special ability. Like, Blinky can destroy ice and stone blocks, Deadeye has a 3-way shot and can climb up walls, Jenny has a weird controllable ball of electricity, and Willy has a charge shot. After I finished up those first 4 levels, I thought I was nearing the end. But in reality, I wasn't even close. There's another 4 levels that will make you use everything you've learned and every character in your arsenal. I was actually pretty surprised to find out that this is quite the lengthy game. Thankfully, it has a password feature because I can't imagine doing this in one sitting. Treasures are masters of innovative gameplay, and you can definitely see the beginnings of that here. I mean, it just feels like a treasure game. For instance, during the final level, the game becomes a full-on side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. Each act presents its own unique challenge, and you're certainly not going to be bored here. From their very beginnings, Treasure has excelled at pushing the limits of the hardware that their games are on, and Bucky O'Hare is no different in the way that it tests the limits of what the NES is capable of. There's some really nice colorful graphics and parallax scrolling throughout. I mean, it's not the nicest looking game to grace the NES, but it's gotta be up there. During the 8-bit era, if you saw a Konami logo on a box, you had a pretty good idea that the music was going to be fairly good. So I guess it goes without saying that the soundtrack here is also excellent. These days, Bucky O'Hare is one of the most sought-after NES games, fetching a fairly high price wherever you may stumble upon it. It's fairly well known among the NES hardcore, and has been shown on numerous hidden gems lists. So, is it worth the price? Well, probably. It's a pretty cool piece of history, especially if you're a fan of Treasure's games. But for me, I love what this game signifies. Whatever happened during the development of this game must be what led Masato Maegawa to leave Konami, bringing with him an amazing team that would make up one of the best developers out there. I mean, can you even imagine a world without Ikaruga?